So yesterday was the day of the yellow self-existing seed, and I felt incredible again. So much foresight was given. But then, of course, I had an accident. Got hurt at work really, really bad. Had to go to urgent care. I'm in cast, not like a full hard-on cast, more like bindings and crutches now. I'm trying not to give attention to quote-unquote the negative, but what really frustrates and concerns me is the fact that I could very well not be working for a decent amount of time. X-ray won't come in for a few days, and then I have my appointment with urgent care again at the end of the week. They believe that I'm probably going to need physical therapy. It was a blunt force object that hit me. I'm not going to get into details. This is my vlog, not whatever that would be talking about. But having reestablished connections with Priest again, giving an understanding about who Yaldabaoth really is and his role for my destiny, I guess you could say. And the fact that 2 people had dreams about me last night. So, in one of the groups I'm in, the one person who I feel I'm pretty close to had a dream about my incident, and from what it sounded like, everything is going to benefit towards my favor. Personally, I would just prefer to work and earn my money and leave it at that. Having working and retapping in with the radionic fields, and the fact there's a lot of chemtrails that I was intentionally trying to tap and pull that energy through my system, I believe there was just too much surge, and this was a side effect of that surge. But it feels like it was definitely intended by a higher force. Long story short, I should be well compensated for my injury because of the work situation. The fact that it was my boss that caused this injury. And I'll just leave it at that. I was trying to think about how this day and how this wave flow would transform me. The human side of me feels like this messed up foot is a setback compared to what I really wanted to feel and do. But my inner dragon nature knows this is well going to be for my advantage. That I intuitively feel that this injury occurred because of the radionics, and not because I took in too much. That was a side effect. It feels like this injury occurred so that the radionics would have easier access into my molecular structure, for lack of a better reference. And it feels like there's a shadow within myself that has been awakened. A slow guidance, a hand drifting over my own, a breath that extends slightly past my own. And I'll just leave it at that. So as today is the day of the serpent, the most important day for me energetically. Symbolically, the dragon is the most important day, but energetically, because my birth totem mainly represents the serpent and the descendant of a serpent, and having that lineage through my blood. And that's part of the reason I believe Yaldabaoth has connected with me. Now, from my interpretation, not too many people actively know and speak and quote-unquote worship this said being. And truthfully, I don't know what I did to merit such attention from a demiurge. But it's very clear that he wants nothing but to bestow his power and authority over me. I saw him in a cloud shape literally right in front of me today when I got home. I mean, it was exactly like you would see on the ancient glyphs and descriptions. Trying not to let my foot bother me. Honestly, it feels like I should be able to walk. Too much pressure and I start bursting in tears. It's very unpleasant. I did put some magnets on, and I wasn't really given anything to help relieve this pain other than keep it elevated, nice. But again, intuitively, I feel I should not be putting ice on this. I feel like with the, the charge that I'm using with the magnets, the fact that I have radionics, I feel like I said, this is going to all benefit me in the long term and long run. Because as I'm getting ready for the x-ray at the facility, that shadow within myself, I could just feel it grinning and smiling, like, oh yes, a heavy dose of radiation, I'm going to take it all in, transform it. Because ironically, that is something very similar to what I had said, as I kept seeing them spraying chemtrails non-stop again, almost all day. I said, they're spraying chemtrails again, continuously, overabundantly. Good, more for me to transform. So, Halloween is just about here. I'm not sure exactly what all this means, considering we're a little less than halfway through this wave spell. And the only thing that comes to mind is the Crippled dragon, not directly referencing myself, but in my Imperial Dragon Oracle deck. And the fact that there was someone else that I know that connects with the dragon energy that is missing a limb. And I was doing energy work for him, and he believes that I took too much of his side. And this could be a result from that. I feel like it was just a multitude of all that put together, honestly. But as this continues to go on, we'll figure out what the rest of this day means to me. We'll go ahead and cut it off here. The Crippled Dragon. Ironically.